All right. Okay, let's do it. Welcome to Enya's Relatable Randomness Podcast. I'm your host, Enya Graham Shewish. But today isn't about me. Today is about this lovely, beautiful human sitting right beside me. She's a director, she's a producer, she's a singer-songwriter, and get this, she's about to be in the next edition of Forbes magazine, India. How you doing, Aman Bassi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
It's good.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming onto my podcast with me and taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So today I want to highlight you and all of you. And you shared some things about your story with me a little bit earlier on, and I would love for the viewers and listeners to be able to get a little bit of taste of who you are. So let's just bring it right from day one, square one.
Let's get it.
Where were you born? Talk to me.
All right. So I was born in India. I came to Canada when I was about 2 years old. So I've been in Canada my whole life, and I was raised by a big family, like a mix of family, like my aunts and uncles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, I was born in different cultures. My family is very like big, and we have like a lot of different cultures in the family as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just learned a lot from everybody, a little bit of from everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, how was life growing up in Canada?
Life was good. When you're a kid, you always have these visions and stuff like that. So life was amazing. As a kid, you're just like doing your thing, going to school and all that. Life was amazing until I started to realize what I actually wanted to do in life. That was like, I know a lot of people might say, oh, that's too early. You were just a kid. But I think in grade 5 is when I got the realization of my life. Like, I want to do something to be creative, to be artistic, and to like help people as well and make people laugh and all that stuff.
And I'd say that you're doing a pretty damn good job of that so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Aman and I, we actually met at a event, Open Studio Saturdays, here at this studio. She was the first guest, and I was the host. So we've only known each other now for about like 3 weeks or so, but so far it's been amazing getting to know
energy,
you.
The vibe,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah. I'll sit like this. How about this? Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Perfect. So just gonna get comfortable here. Nobody mind me. So you had shared a couple things in the car when you were driving me home. Do you feel comfortable talking about those things?
Yeah, we can talk about a lot of things. Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Do you want to hop right in? Do you want me to ask some questions?
You can ask me because I know I said a lot of things that day, and I don't remember what exactly we talked about a few things, but I don't remember exactly what because I was a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. So we were talking about basically your family history and some things with your dad and what made those things hard for you when you were growing up, and also things with your mom and moving in with your cousins you had mentioned.
Yeah. So I grew up, like I said, I grew up in a big family. Everybody was supporting and loving. But both of my parents, they're Indian. We call them, like, they were desi, it's like a term. And growing up, I had to, move away to Canada from my mom, who pretty much just raised me, and it was difficult for me to settle here. When I came here at a very young age, and then when I went back to India, I was very close with her, and I didn't want to leave her. And at that time, I didn't know what was going on because I was just a kid. There was a lot going on in the family. There was things happening, legal stuff happening, that I till this day don't know why or what happened, but all I know is that those things were not normal for me to see as a kid. This is in 2007. I was in India, and we went from Canada to India, and we were pretty much hiding there, which was weird because at that time I didn't know. Like, we would go from our house to our cousin's house. We were just trying to hide from the authorities there, and at that time I didn't know what it was about or what was happening, but
So were they looking for someone in your family?
Yes.
So you were hiding.
So we were pretty much targeted.
You were targeted.
Like,
okay.
So I don't want to go into details about it, but my sister had someone in her life, a guy that she was supposed to marry. and he ended up committing suicide.
Mm.
Due to that reason, his family took action upon our family to pretty much get revenge, and it was like in a way that they just wanted us all dead. So at that time,
Wow.
so we were getting protection from the the police there, but also like not getting protection because money talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those things, like, that was the last time I went to India. After that, I just couldn't go.
And how old were you then?
It was 2007,
2007.
so I was in grade 6.
And how old are you now?
I'm 25 now,
25.
so
Awesome.
it's been like 13 years.
Yeah.
So I was very young, and I grew up in Canada, right? So I didn't have that tough skin or the tough mentality that kids in those countries do. Things like that happened, and we were running around. And at that time, I was like, "What is this? Like, I don't want to live this life the way this family is living this life, right?" And my mom was like, always by my side, and she talked to me about it, and she kind of tried to explain it to me, but at the same time, she didn't know how to. And as I grew older, I understood that situation. And till this day, it comes back in the family. And unfortunately, my mom passed away. But that's life, and I still think of those things that she told me, and they make sense now. And why that whole thing happened, and why that suicide was there, and why a lot of people let anger get to them before they could let themselves be, and that's why that innocent person died. And my sister was in a lot of pain, and at those times I did not understand, but now I think that situation would have been avoided if everybody just communicated. But everybody had their egos on his side of the family and my family, and those things just happened. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so with your career and everything that you've been up to, did you start that during, before, after?
So that was I was really young at that time, right? And I came back to Canada, and I just didn't feel the same after what I've seen and witnessed, my family, my sister go through and all that. I just felt like I was like this, and I listened to a lot of hip hop. So I listened to like Pac, Nas, Eminem, Lauryn Hill, and I was like, how do I express my frustration? Because here in Canada, nobody would understand. I talked to teachers, they'd send me to counselors. It was like child services almost being involved, because like what my teachers were seeing, they're like, yeah, kids should not have experienced those things. But all that stuff happened, and I was like, what do I do? So I turned to writing poems, poetry. In grade 6 is when I first started writing seriously, and I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and I submitted my poems to the school and everything, and I had to change my school because I was getting bullied for writing, which was like the funniest thing to me, right? And I was winning a lot of awards, and teachers were like praising me, and a lot of teachers, would put on my poems, in the classrooms and stuff. Oh, Aman wrote this, and from there, I just realized, like, till today, from that day, I've always put my frustrations into writing, and that writing could be a poem, it could be a song, and it just always helps. I was on the podcast with KOG the other day, and I told him, like, writing helps. I write every day.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So with all of that, where, other than what you're doing right now with directing, producing, and singing and writing your songs and stuff, where you've got so much energy, and you've obviously got so much history, and obviously so many hard things, so many great things have happened. Do you have like a huge end goal? Like, what's your end goal? What do you want that to look like?
A lot of people say I want to be a billionaire, or I want to be this. My end goal is just to be happy in life. Just look back at everything I've done and just be happy about it. And that's like the biggest success to me, and be happy with the people that I care about and love. And as long as they're happy, to me, money and fame and all that stuff, they're great things to have, but I don't think we should define that as happiness, because it does get boring, trust me. But my end goal is just, my success to me is happiness, and I always say this, and that's where I want to be one day, hopefully, and in my life. And that's about it. I just want to, like, that's my goal. And I want to create things in my life to make others happy, to make others' lives easier, to help other people as well who are in a situation that they can't get out themselves, whatever it may be, wherever they may be. I just want to see them happy, and just that's like the best thing is to leave a legacy behind and to people actually remember you for, yeah, Aman Bassi was an amazing artist or this and that, but she also helped people. Like I want to be able to help children and stuff like that. That when they grow up, they help more people, so that we spread that positivity around not just the city but the world slowly.
Yeah, you actually had mentioned something to do with children and starting some sort of school.
I did.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So my vision, this is a big vision, and I've been working on it for the past while, and I'm getting there. I want to open up a school, an entertainment school, art school for children from ages 8 till 20. I want to be able to help kids who are, struggling within their families, or there's issues in their families, or mental health, orphans, all that stuff. I want to be able to bring in kids, from around the city, from around Canada as of right now. I want to be able to give them a home, like that school, a home, a shelter, food, education, and everything they would need to perfect their craft. Because I'd rather have kids making films or music or writing or doing whatever they want to do than them to be on the streets and doing drugs or getting into the wrong situation. Because kids have a lot of energy, and if they put that into good use and they bring that in within themselves, and they use that energy to focus on playing an instrument, for example a piano. They start at 8, by 12 they might be brilliant at it, right? Instead of like them starting at like 10 doing the wrong things in the streets and end up getting kidnapped, killed, all that disgusting stuff. I'd rather have kids do that, and it's a big vision, but I think with the way I'm going and with the people around me that are supporting it, I'll be able to pull it off. And I know I'll start slow and small, but I want to eventually grow that. Like my next 12-year plan is to have that and have that Canada-wide. Because we in Canada we have amazing healthcare as well, but there's just a lot of things that we're missing. They defunded the mental illness program and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So
is that recent?
No, it's happened for a while. It's what I've heard. We don't have. That's why we have so many people out on the streets that have those issues. Is we don't have that facility anymore. They've shut those facilities down. So I want to be able to bring that. I can't bring that back, but I want to be able to bring something that, where I can start helping people from a younger age. And even if they're 14 or 12, whatever the age they are, and they want to come in and fix their life up and want to focus on like studies or whatever it is, I want to be that person to help and guide them. Yeah.
So within this school, what are some other things that you want to be like teaching the kids? Because, I think about this a lot, all the things that the current school districts are missing. Because I remember when I was in school, not going to lie, I used the Pythagorean theorem almost on a daily. You want to know why? So when you're walking like around the block, right?
Yeah.
You want to go through the alley opposed to, there's no alley actually that goes through like that. That's a lie. Let's say we're walking around a field. Okay. Instead of going around the field, you just want to cut through the field because it's so much shorter because of the Pythagorean theorem, right? Yeah. Anyway, school systems. So, there was a lot of things that I felt like I was getting taught that I really, really did not find to be necessary. So what are some of the things that you want to teach that will be in benefit for these kids, like the things that maybe we didn't get?
I want to teach them about general life situations. I wish someone had taught me when I was growing up, like buying your first car, buying your first house, taxes, getting your first job, saving, those little things that we learned later on in life on the internet. I want to teach them that, and just there's like a lot of things that I would like to teach the kids, right? With writing music, reading music, playing music, singing, songwriting, making films, writing films, all that stuff, but also like general life knowledge as well, like teaching them how to read certain words, writing, and just having like that whole, like what we didn't learn, like, and also teaching them about history and the right way, not
the real history, not just the stuff that we see in the textbook, the stuff that actually happened.
Because I've studied history, and there's more I know of history from the internet than I learned in school. And what I learned in school wasn't even like factual. It was just something that was on a book that we knew. I learned about Canadian history, but I didn't really learn about a lot of Canadian history because there's a lot of Canadian history that I learned after. You know, the first people from India coming in that boat, they don't teach us at school. I don't think you know of that, but there's so much history that I learned, and I want to be able to teach kids that as well. Like whatever we are, we're all different. We're all humans at the same time, though, right? So I want to teach them the past, the present, you know, and then they can decide for the future how they want to go out in the world and change it or be good to people. And doesn't matter who they are, what they look like. They can be Asian, Black, Indian, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, we shouldn't judge people based on how they look, because that happens a lot. Trust me. You know, and it happens in my community too, where we judge. It was a big thing back in the day, but I think now people are learning and, you know, maturing up about it. But back when I was a kid, African Americans would get judged for being, oh, don't let that person near your house or near your stuff because they might steal it and all that. And that was Indian people doing that. And we're also a minority, right? But as we grow older, those people see the change, and now like they see that no, we're all just humans. Just because if we look a certain way, that doesn't mean we're violent and we're this and that, you know. Like, I've been judged, you know, the way I dress, the way I look. I'm Indian, the car I drive. I've been called a fucking drug dealer. I'm not. Never been. Never thought about it. Never been in that lifestyle. But literally, me and one of my friends, this is a real story. We were working on a film, and he, you know, he likes to live his life nicely. He's working hard for it, so he can have nice things, right? And we went to the OVO store owned by Drake, and we, you know, did some shopping, and the next day we showed up to work set, and we were like, you know, we were wearing our OVO gear, and, you know, he has a Porsche and I drive a Jeep. And what happened there was, you know, our one of our supervisors just looked at us. He's like, "What do you guys do on the side?" I'm like, "Nothing. We work hard. To afford this lifestyle.
We're just hustlers."
And you know that happens. But you know, we didn't mind that because he was just genuinely asking like the outfits. But I'm like, we just work hard for it. That's it. Like, honestly.
And also, what kind of freaking question is that, though? You know, it ain't none of his business how you're making money, even if you are selling drugs. It ain't his business. You know what I mean? It really surprises me when people.
But that's you know, that's slowly changing. It's a long way. But if I'm able to, you know, have kids who are at the age of 8, by the time they grow up and they see that and they're able to go within their peers. And spread, like if I teach one kid, he can teach 10 others, and those 10 others can teach 10 others. So it will spread, and it won't be like fast. It'll be over the years, so it'll take many years. But I think if I'm able to start that, and it just keeps on going, even when I'm not even here anymore, that's like the best thing for the future generations to come.
Yeah. I really wish that school was kicking around.
The world is getting really scary.
It is. You know what's funny? I actually, on my way here, I met this guy. His name is Cash. It's his nickname. His name's actually Peter. And he's probably almost about 60 years old. And one of the first things he asked me, he was just like, what are your thoughts about COVID? And like, where do you stand? And I was like, damn, that's a really broad question for a stranger, first of all. Second of all, pretty much my answer is, first of all, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know where it came from. I'm not going to sit here and listen to all the media and pretend like I know, because I really don't, nor do I like personally care so much where it came from. It is what it is. Yeah. But I was also telling him, it's of course for a lot of people, it has really put a damper on their lives and really like stunted things. But I actually wrote this blog at the very beginning of COVID, and it was called Pause. And that's basically what happened, was everyone's life was on pause. And I don't know about you, but for me, there's been multiple times in my life that I've probably been in a fetal position, laying in bed crying and saying, why can't life just be on pause? I just need a minute to catch up, to breathe, just find myself again. And that's what happened. That literally happened. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't take that time to work on themselves, to do anything, to gain, exactly, to grow. They just took that time to sit, and now they're like, oh, now COVID sucks. But I'm like, I utilize that time, and here I am podcasting every 2 weeks. Here I am sitting with you because I met you, because I went out there and I started utilizing that extra time that I had. Now I'm here at the studio, right? But Yeah, how's it been for you? It's like
Same. So basically, like my life before COVID, I was in LA when it happened, when the lockdown started happening, and I came back to Canada after that. But yeah, same thing. I was like, okay, now my films, I don't have any work, right? Because the film industry shut down completely for a couple of months, and I was like, what do I do? This is the perfect time to start working on my album, and that's exactly what I did. I recorded over, I think, like 34, 35 songs so far.
wow.
And I have chosen the top 12 to be on the album, and I've released 2 of them.
Which 2 are those?
Hollywood Hills and What Is Love.
Nice.
And then the next one is Get Up and Leave is also part of the album.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have this content that I created in that time, and now even when I'm back at work filming and all that, I still have all those songs that I can polish over time and maybe drop a second album. But I'm dropping my first album maybe next year sometimes, and I use that time to do that because otherwise I wouldn't have time to go to the studio or write or fix the songs. But I was really able to focus on each song for a couple of days before I like polish it, you know. And that's what I did, and a lot of people didn't do that, but I took that time to my advantage, and I was literally in the studio every day. You can like talk to my producer. He got so annoyed at me at one point. He was like, can we take he literally said, he's like, can we take 1 week break,
No.
please?
No breaks.
And I was like, and literally the next day I went to a different studio, and I was like, and then I just made my own little studio, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep on recording. I'll send you the vocals, you just do your mixing and mastering. But that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So you said you made your own little studio?
Yeah.
So you made your own little studio at your house?
Yeah.
Ah, damn, girl.
So I just got a mic, you know, like a little small space. It's good, and I just record my vocals there now, and I just send them out to whoever needs them, and then we just so that way I'm not like delaying music.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know when those songs will come out, but I still have that content because with me is like how I feel in a moment. I want to record that because I might be a different person the next day. You know, now that looking back at my album, I like it. I was that person. I was that human being. I got hurt and all that, but now I'm not that anymore. And I'm like, oh, did I really? But I'm like, you know, I put in a lot of effort. This needs to go out because someone else might be going through that now, even though I'm not. But I was able to write it down and record it, and now I can share with the world.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So I ask this to anybody who I feel has who is successful. What is your definition of success or being successful?
My definition of success is, you know, people like, oh, this person's successful because he has a nice car, clothing, all that stuff, right? The way they dress. Like I said before, like happiness, you know, I want to be happy because you can be so successful, but you're not happy. You know, I know people that are like 10 times more successful than I am, but they're literally not happy, you know? And I see that, and I think at a young age that I saw that, I told myself that I don't want to be that person when I am at the age of 30 or whatever. So my definition of success is do what you got to do, work hard, hustle, and never stop. You know, even if you think you've reached the top, just keep on going. Never stop. And also put your time and energy into the things that you believe in. You know, it might not work out the first or second year, but maybe the third year or the fourth year. Eventually it does. You don't want to give up. Right? You don't, even if you're passionate, like, you know, for me, my music didn't work for a while, but now it's taken off. You know, it's not out there, but it's there. And now I just feel like, okay, that's success for me, right? Because I didn't give up. Now, if I give up now, what's going to happen, right? Now I know where I'm going and I'm slowly doing it. So just never give up. That's my definition of success. And also be happy while you're doing it. You know?
Yeah.
Don't end up just chasing success and forgetting the other valuable things in your life.
Yeah.
Because you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to be the most successful person in the world and be alone. You know, and not have like someone to love or family or friends. Yeah.
I remember when I was watching you doing the interview with Jarrett, one thing that you had mentioned was don't chase the money.
Yeah.
Like chasing the money is not going to get you there.
Yeah, it's going to run away.
Yeah. So what is it that gets you there other than the few things that you just listed?
So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just giving out examples. So, like, for example, like, let's say I'm a human being and I wanna be the biggest director in the world, right? And I think being the biggest director in the world is making a lot of money, right? But that's not gonna make you the biggest director in the world.
What is?
What vision do you have? Like, if you have no vision, if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, you might have connections, but who's gonna want to work with you and pay you that much money if you haven't even worked on your craft? You know.
So what's the key to that?
The key to that is there's people that get blindsided by money. They see a little bit of money coming in, they forget what they were started or what their passion was, right? The key to that is to focus on what you want to do. Like if I want to make water bottles, right? I'm not gonna become a billionaire making water bottles, but this company is.
I mean, you might.
Yeah, right. So like Nestle. There's a few other companies, Flow Water, Smart Water.
Pure.
Exactly. Those companies weren't like, yo, we're gonna make water and we're gonna become billionaires. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, we're gonna put our energy and time into this brand. Like for example, Smart Water or Voss Water, right? They're luxury waters, apparently. You know, we get them at Starbucks for $5-6. You know, we get a water bottle. Like they focused on their branding, the way they were going to show themselves and the way they were going to sell themselves, right? So they put in a lot of time, effort, and money. They put that in for years and years that we didn't see. But as soon as they came out to the public, the first or second years were slow, but eventually they grew. They weren't chasing that money. They weren't throwing their water bottles at us and telling us to buy them. No, we eventually started seeing those things and we're like, oh, that water, okay, Smart Water. Where do I get that? We started buying that. Right? They didn't chase us, right? Eventually, we went to them and we started purchasing their product. Now they're getting paid and they're making their money, right? Whereas if I am doing something, my brand, and I'm like shoving it in your face, even though it's really good, you're not gonna want to buy it.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm just from afar showing you what's happening and people are getting interested slowly, you might be looking, you'll be like, okay, like, let me go check it out.
So it sounds like the value.
Yeah,
the value is the key.
Yeah, the value, the vision, and how you're gonna portray it. It's not about like, oh, I made this amazing thing. Now I'm gonna sell it for $1 million. Pay me that. I want to be rich. That doesn't work. I mean, it can work, but you end up just losing it at the end. You know?
Yeah. When I was in school, we had to do these Pechakuchas. So Pechakucha is basically like a mini TED Talks, and it's 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And so it's 20 slides, 20 seconds each. And so each slide that we had behind us was an image that basically emphasized what it was that we were talking about. It had nothing to do with, it had no writing or anything on it. And it was extremely hard to do because, first of all, you're in a class and she's like, you got to do a 6-minute presentation, memorize it all, and it's going to be from the heart. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, here we go. And it couldn't have been about, had to be personal because it's like, why do I trust you that you're saying this? What is it about you? Why I should trust you saying it, right? So you had to really choose something that was personal to you. And one of the biggest things that she mentioned that will always stick with me is it doesn't matter how, it matters why.
Yeah.
Once you have your why, your how will come and it will be easy.
Exactly,
Yeah. Yeah, and that sounds like, it's why. Why make a gorgeous, nice water bottle? Whatever their why was, clearly the how ended up working along with it,
because the world is liking them, and people post about it. Even those like little Starbucks cups, the one with the straw. There's
like so many of those now.
Right? They just why are you making these? They made them, and how are you gonna sell them? Look, they're just
right. Or how about this? Or how about the $2 cups? That's the exact same as the regular cup, except it's hard plastic, and you could reuse it if you wanted to. Which I don't know if anybody really does because they don't keep your drink warm. But yeah, I don't know why I brought that up.
But it's like why?
Yeah,
just do it, and then. How and what and where, who will buy this, whatever.
All of that comes
in, right?
along.
Like, why are you making a movie about this? Just make it, and then how are people gonna like it? We'll see. Just make the movie and put it up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you've traveled all around the world.
Pretty
much.
Kind of.
Have you hit every continent?
Not every. I have still yet to go to Africa.
Yeah. Nice.
And that's my next. I wanted to go this December, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But that's like my next bucket list goal.
Nice. Yeah. Where in Africa do you want to go?
I want to go to Cape Town, Nigeria, and just there's a few other countries that I don't know how to pronounce, so I'm not. But like just in those areas, I want to go do videos there and like just have fun and
nice,
all that
cool.
Stuff, yeah.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Like the videos that you would get just with the dancing culture out there.
And just the way I've seen a lot of videos shot out there, and it's just amazing the way they're able to just do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
excited. I want to be able to like go there, meet people, and just create
Art. Yes. I really want to go to Africa one day as well.
Yeah.
Of course. So with traveling to all these places, has anything ever gone terribly wrong while in another country?
Yes, it happens all the time.
Like
I've been
what?
to Russia.
Okay.
I was in Russia last year in January. So just, around this time I was prepping for my trip. I went to Russia. Everything was good. People were lovely there. But things happen, and Russia has a lot of different rules than we have here. And I was there for work, and they politics and all that. So what happened was, we went to this restaurant, me and my team, and they check your passports. I don't know if this happens to everybody, but it happened to us. So they checked our passports, and and they looked at us. Oh, you're Canadian, you're American, whatever. And then we got our food, and everything was okay. And then I felt like something was up. Like, when you just kind of have that gut feeling. And I don't know if this happens to everybody. This is just my experience. But I didn't feel good. The restaurant was amazing and everything. And I was like, there's something wrong. And it's right in front of like the Russian embassy, like their part. I don't know what you call it, like their government building. So the restaurant is right across from it. I guess that's why they're so strict there. But we walked out. We all got into our Ubers and cabs and all, and then we went back to our hotel. And I just felt like there was something up. And then I go in my room, and then I got a call from the receptionist. She's like, "Hey, there's someone here to see you." I'm like, "Huh?" And then it was like one of the government officials. And they just started like asking me questions on the spot, like, what are you doing here? Where are you from? Who are those people? How are they from America? How are you from Canada? And I was like, oh, we're working. I'm trying to work on this film. Oh, you're here. Are you shooting? I'm like, no, we're just here to location scout. Just those things. And after that, I was like, I kind of don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I was in Russia. I never went back.
Damn. How did you find the people? Because, a lot of people say that Russians aren't the friendliest people, but I've never been there, so I don't necessarily
Honestly, I made a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And I'm till this day really good friends with them. And some of them are. It just, everybody has their moods. The government guy wasn't friendly at all. But I guess that has to do with his job, or I don't even know if he was from the government or someone just was following me, but I can't confirm that. I'll never know.
Yeah.
But, I met some amazing friendly people, and there are just some people that are just like, don't look at me,
Yeah.
It's happened. Like, I remember I was walking, and we were checking out like these lights, and, there was this woman there, and she was just like, with her kids. I think I was telling her hey, like, we wanted to get a photo, so there was a lineup. So I just kind of kindly asked her, I'm like, hey, would you be able to move? My friend wants to get a photo. And she's like, she looked at me like up and down and just walked off. It's like, don't talk to me. And then there's some people like, oh my God, you're from Canada? Okay, I'll take your photo. Like.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense.
It happens everywhere.
Sense. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there are some places though where you go and it's like everybody is just so nice. Yeah. So nice, and it's like, is there any mean people here?
Yeah, those places exist as well.
They do. Like, I think like I haven't traveled crazy amounts, but I've been to Mexico about 5 times, and then I've been to Cuba and Thailand.
And people are the sweetest.
They are. They are the sweetest. But you know what? I can't really say that I truly experienced it because I was 18 years old, just graduated high school, and it was a very fun trip.
Yeah, that's good.
To say the least. So I didn't end up leaving the resort too much. So I didn't really meet any like the in-town Cubans. But in Thailand, I was going to say, on the islands, everybody was so friendly.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't find any mean people down there. In Bangkok, though, people are very aggressive. They can be. But, I mean, it's because there's so many tourists, right? And they're really trying to sell you stuff. Oh. So being from Canada, where you don't touch each other, and then to have someone putting a head in a bracelet on you while you're in the middle of eating food in a restaurant. They don't work at the restaurant, and they come up to you. That was just like, leave me alone. And sometimes when you even say, no, go away, they still keep pushing you. So then I kind of found things to be like, I wouldn't even call it mean. No one was trying to be mean. There were just people. I mean, that's not fair. There are people who are also trying to be mean. There are people who, like, You know, sometimes tourists go there and they play the game where they're like, you know, we've got the money, you're more poor, I'll take whatever I can give you type thing.
Yeah.
They kind of do this reverse flip of that in a way. And they're
Really?
like, yeah, kind of, because they're just like, we know that you have the money and that we don't, but we're not gonna budge because we know that you want this product. So sometimes I feel like I was really, like, even when you were kind of bargaining, I feel like I was just like getting played mad, which I totally was. You go to Thailand for one time, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a sister who's been there, I think, 10, 11 times, and she told me all about it, but it didn't, nothing stuck once I got there. I forgot about everything that she told me pretty much.
It happens.
It does happen. It does happen. I'm going to ask you a question. It's a big question, but if you were God for a day.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? If you were God for a day, not even God necessarily. How about this? If you could be the person who could be the change, who could change everything in the world, or anything in the world, like what would it be about this world that you would want to change?
The first thing, poverty.
Mm.
Then racism.
Mm-hmm.
And then other
And then they
things.
just.
Yeah. There's so many things. But poverty
Yeah.
and racism.
Mm.
The two of the biggest things in the world.
Yeah. And do you feel like with who you are and what you're doing, do you feel like those are a couple things that you're trying to kind of resolve along your way?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Can't do it alone, you know, but I'm trying my best. And obviously, like, I want to help as many people I can and reach out to as many people I can. When it comes to, like, giving people a helping hand, like I was talking about the kids and stuff, you know, that are raised in poverty and all that. And racism as well, you know, just teaching them from a young age, you know, those things. I want to be one of those people. Like, I try every day to help people. I try to, you know, give a helping hand, but, you know, there's a lot to it. And if I had that superpower where I would just, those would be the two first things I would just do. Then everything else, I'll take it day by day, you know, like world peace and all that stuff. But
Yeah, I remember that was like my only dream when I was young. It's just like, I just want the world to be in peace. But little did I know what was actually happening in the world.
Now it's in pieces, unfortunately.
Yeah, like literally pieces. I mean, so was it back then, just not as bad, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just when you're a kid, like, oh, world peace.
I think when people have those egos and they get put in charge.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what, though? It's just like, kind of like, for example, like, you know, the states with Trump. It's like, y'all voted him. Like, you know?
Yeah. I think when people started voting for him, people were just thinking he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
Because they started voting and they didn't stop. That's why he probably won.
Yeah.
And it's not a... It's... Yeah, I can't even say anything on that topic because I don't even know where to start from. Yeah, but there's a lot that he fucked up, and there's a lot that needs to be fixed now. And I don't think the next 4 years for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are enough to fix the damage that he's done, not just in America, but around the world as well. You know?
And not even just to fix it, but to also not just bring it back to where it was, but to bring it higher, bring the community and the country higher than where it was. That's
he's
challenge.
Like he's given people a support to openly just be racist and bash people. I mean, those people did exist before, but they didn't have that much of an open space to do those things. But now they know that there's a person there that supports that. So they're like, oh, our president's like this, so we're gonna do what the fuck we want. You know, we're gonna like shit on your rights and think everything's about us. And just people are just fucked up. And I've personally dealt with those things, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, at least we're in Canada.
Things need to progress here as well.
Oh, absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
There's a lot here that, you know, we can't be like sitting on our side of the fence and laughing at them because there's a lot behind our fence that we need to be taking care of as well.
Absolutely. No, that is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, nothing is perfect, but, you know, with the right people, right mindset, it can get there. Yeah.
No, I agree. So what are you doing right now, like on your spare time? Like when it's just me, I'm on by myself at home, got no priorities, no responsibilities, no people to judge. What do you do? What are you up to?
I'm just either watching movies,
What do you like to watch?
I watch a lot of comedies. I think
Who's your favorite comedian?
Kevin Hart. Have you seen his new special?
I did.
Yo, hi Kevin, if you see this.
That part, okay, it's so funny. My boyfriend, he was like, we tried watching it a couple times, and I just was not ready for Kevin. You know, you got to go into Kevin Hart, being ready for Kevin Hart. And he watched it by himself, and he's like, he puts it on. He's like, are you ready yet? And I'm like, okay. And then it got to the part where he was talking about females and just the things that females do. Like, hey, like, do you want to, let's do something. What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. And that is like the definition of me on some days for sure. It's just like, oh, let's do something, but I don't know what I want to do. That was a very, very, very good one.
Kevin is Tiffany Haddish as well. They're just, out there.
I just recently found her as well.
Yeah. Oh, you recently found Tiffany?
Well, I didn't find her actually. My boyfriend told me about her, but I had no idea who she was.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah,
this is like
dope.
also just 2 months ago. Like I'm fresh to her. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's been in the game for a while, but she got a lot of exposure last year. But yeah, she's funny.
Have you heard of Gary Owens?
I have. Yes. Yes.
If you guys
I've
haven't
seen some of his stuff. Yeah.
If y'all haven't seen Gary Owens, go check him out. He is a white man who has a black wife and obviously some half her kids. And most of his audience is black people because his black jokes, I swear to God, are just
on point.
They are. And it takes the type of person to be able to stand in front of a black crowd and to say black jokes when you're not black.
And actually make them work.
And make them work, exactly. Yeah, and to get to where he's gone.
Yeah. That's talent right there.
Yeah. So we're watching comedy, we're writing. What exactly are you writing?
Just poems or films, and like just about how I feel and all that stuff. And then just chilling at home. If I'm not doing anything, I just like to stay in my bed. Like I'll go to the gym and then I'll just come home, chill at home, stay in my bed and just work on my stuff. Just whatever I'm working on. Yeah.
So you're very like self-focused.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be going out and doing too much.
No, I don't
extracurriculars.
I'm not like, I like going out like once in a while, but I'm not like, I'm very like observant. I don't talk much when I go out. I'm very self-aware, and I choose who and where I want to spend my time and all that. And most of the time, it's like a lot of things that I want to do right now I can't because of the COVID stuff. Like getting together and all that. So I just stay at home and I just do my thing. And when I know if I want to see certain people, I'll just reach out to them and we just hang out, grab dinner, something like that. But it's nothing like partying and all that stuff. Because I know a lot of people in the industry, they like doing that. But for me, I've lived that life from like 16 till 19. Like I ruined it. So it's not worth it for me because that's the problem, right? When you go into an industry like mine, you see all this lavish shit and everything at an early age, and your brain just kind of gets like, no. And at that age, you got influenced by a lot of people to do a lot of dumb shit. Yeah. Which I have been. But I've grown out of that. So now I'm like, nah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And like, do you read at all? Do you meditate?
I meditate, yes. Oh, okay. So I meditate. I read. I read a lot, actually. I read... there's some stuff in Punjabi I read.
Is it nonfiction, fiction?
I read all of it. I read nonfiction. I read fiction. I'm learning a lot about the Sikh religion. I'm Sikh. My family's Sikh. From the longest time, I just ignored it. Like I wasn't really into it. But as I grow older, I feel more connection to it, and I've been reading about that. Learning to read in Punjabi as well because I can speak Punjabi, but I don't read and write it. So I'm learning. And also, I meditate like every day. And also do I don't know if you heard of Wim Hof.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I do his methods as well. Every day. Like
so you having cold showers or what?
Girl,
you can do everything. You got this.
I'm doing everything. That's why
you
do
it.
I do everything.
Oh yes.
So I've been like
nice.
I've been like I get up at 5 in the morning every day. Like that's my thing. Even if I'm working or not. First hour I just take to myself because with what I do for a living as well, I don't get a lot of time to myself. My phone starts ringing at like 4 sometimes. So I get up, I meditate, I read, I do the Wim Hof, and then I'll eat something and I'll go to the gym from like 6 till 7 or 7:30.
Wow.
And then after that, if I have to go to work, I'll get ready, go to work. If I don't have work, I'll come home, see my niece and nephews. They go to school or they do online classes, and then just spend time with them, and then I just go and do what I gotta do in the day. And if I don't have anything to do, I just sit at home and spend time with my family and just chill out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But if I'm working, then I don't come home till like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But the Wim Hof challenge, what I do is I meditate in the morning, clear my head out, whatever I want to focus on, soul searching and all that stuff. And then Wim Hof challenge, I'll do it in the morning. I'll do the breathing exercises. Yeah. I'll do that. And then I'll, throughout my day, I'll keep on doing those. I do those like at least 10 to 12 times a day. Because like for me, it helps with like blood flow. It helps with anxiety, helps with communication. It helps with like a lot of those things that'll stress me out.
What part about communication do you feel like it helps with?
So if like, let's say if I'm at work, because there's a lot of chaotic things going on, or I'm just doing something and people have a bunch of questions for me, and I feel like, they're coming and instead of losing my shit or all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be like, give me 2 minutes. I'll go do the breathing exercise. I'll come back. I'm like, okay, what's your problem? Okay. Like, it gives me like this relaxation for a few minutes where I'm able to calm down and be like, okay, man, we can do it instead of yelling at people or talking in a way that I'll regret later. So.
And how, I know about Wim Hof, but I actually have not, I don't know all about him, or else I would probably know exactly how these breathing exercises go. How do the breathing exercises go?
So basically, first you do have an app. You can get the app. I do it through the app, and then you can log it in and all that. So how this breathing exercise goes is you breathe as many times as because I've been doing it for a while, so I have a higher tolerance now. But you breathe until you feel like, okay, you're getting really lightheaded. But thing is, you start feeling your like tips of your fingers. You start feeling your like self in your body, and then what you do is, then you hold your breath, like you hold it for as long as you can. When I started, I was doing for 1 minute. Now I can go up to like 3 minutes. Yeah, and then you have it on your app. So you do your timer, and then you hold it, and you can feel your heartbeat, and you can feel your head calming down. And then after that, right, you breathe out, you let it go, and then you take one deep breath in, and then you just for 15 seconds you close your eyes and get rid of like you don't breathe that out through your nose or anything. You literally just let it go, like all the negativity in your brain, whatever is stressing you, you just like kind of let it go. I know it sounds like a superpower I'm doing, but you don't breathe, you don't let the breath out of your nose or your mouth, but as you're thinking, like, let it go, it just comes out of your ears and it just goes. The energy, the negative energy, for me, it just goes.
And then what does it come out of your ears? The negative energy or the air?
The air.
The air,
for me,
actually.
For me. For some people, it's different. If you look it up, it's just different for every people. I think for him, I don't even know, because I was watching his interview, when he did the exercise, like, he didn't even, like, the air didn't even come out, but, like, I don't even know where it went. Like, so it's different for every person.
But then it's out of his lungs, though? It's gone?
Yeah.
The air?
Yeah.
But it's not,
so it's like, I'm doing, some people do it for, like, you hold it for 15 to 20 seconds.
Did you just do
Yeah.
Did you? I heard that. Did you? Oh, my God. Whoa, that was really trippy. I can't do that right now if I tried to, right?
Yeah.
Could I?
Yeah, you'd have to do that, because I've been doing it for so long. I know the process. You would probably have to do the whole thing.
Oh.
And that's like the last thing that it gets wow, like
that was so trippy.
The negative shit gets out, and then you can feel the difference. Trust me, it works. I even told my ex to do
I'm on this. Yo, I'm on this. You got me, like.
I told my ex-boyfriend to do this too.
Good. Get him on it.
I'm like, you need this, because we were talking about meditation, so I sent him a few things.
Yeah. That's awesome. Actually, my girlfriend and I can't say I love meditating, because I feel like people who love things religiously do them.
Yeah.
I don't religiously meditate. I want it to be something that I do eventually, like, really love. But currently my girlfriend and I, so you know what the app Headspace is?
I have heard of it, yes.
Yeah. So basically it's just kind of like, it just guides you a little bit from the beginning and then the end. And then it also tracks it. So her and I have both downloaded the app. And for Jenny, and when you're going to be watching this, no, it's day 3, and I have not done all 3 days of meditation. So that's how mine's been going lately. Yeah. Non-existent.
I think when I started, I was like, but when I during the pandemic is when it really hit off, because I was going through a lot of bullshit in my life, and my mom passing away. I was just like, okay, it really helped. And I think it's like the first week that you're like, I don't want to get up 30 minutes early, but it works. It helps. Like, you're not tired afterwards either. especially with the Wim Hof thing. You're not tired.
Yeah.
Like I don't even I'm a big gym freak. I go to the gym like every day, anytime I get. I used to drink a lot of pre-workout, and that's not the greatest things for your health. Ever since I started doing the Wim Hof, I don't even drink pre-workout. I just I naturally just work out now. I don't take any supplements. I don't like any of the stuff. Before I used to like have different kind of proteins, like what I was gonna eat, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now I just
breathe.
That's it. Like
the trick is just breathing.
Because that's how are we living. We can only live by breathing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that there's a lot to our breathing, our energy, our vibe. Our breathing controls that. Like if you're annoyed by me, you'll be like that. Like that's our energy. Breathing is like
Or when you're excited. Oh, that's what my boyfriend does actually. When he's playing the games and he's got his headphones on and he's playing like COD with his brothers, he doesn't notice it, but he'll be like this.
Yeah.
Because he's just like getting excited in the game, so whatever he
or like even when you're anxious, you start holding your breath, or like or when you're crying, you're like huffing and puffing and shit like that, you know. So you're like you live because of you breathe. If you don't breathe, you're not gonna live. So your breath is a big part of your life and your inner self and your vibe and your energy.
Yeah.
So it's best to learn how to control that.
Yeah.
And all your fears, like all to me, I think. It could be different from everybody, but for me, it's like all your fears can go away if you just learn to control your breathing. Like if you're afraid of heights, right? It might not go away right away, but like within a year, if you practice, you could probably look down on a building, or if you're claustrophobic. Like I was claustrophobic for a long time, and after this, I'm able to get in an elevator without a problem now. Like with 20 people, like I don't mind it. Like I'm okay. Like it's just how you control. That's
incredible.
Yeah. So it's just how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you always gotta
and also the mindfulness of what you're doing.
And also the showers. The
cold
showers.
Yeah.
If you go take a cold shower right now, you'll be like freezing.
Yeah.
But if you do that breathing exercise and you control it, you're not gonna feel it.
You wanna know what's so funny is I spent probably 6 months last year taking freezing cold showers. It was terrible. And you wanna know why? Because I knew about cold showers had a lot of health benefits, and I looked at the health benefits, but I didn't actually go look at the breathing exercises from Wim Hof, which I should have. So I used to sit there. I had a song that I would play, and by the time that the lyrics would start, I had to be in the shower. And I would sit there holding the wall, just like so cold, but my breathing was just because I was trying to cope. It wasn't because I was actually controlling the situation by any means. Maybe if I start those breathing things, I should get back to it.
You'll be fine. Like even now for me, like going outside, it's cold in Canada, right? But because of the way out, like I used to be super cold, like I didn't want to go out, but now I'm able to like just go out and I'm able to control it. You can control anything around you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I believe that, except for other people's decisions.
But you know, that's other people. Anything
that's
that
true.
Around you, like you can't control the weather, but you can control how you feel in the weather. Like if you're super cold, like I'm not wearing the proper clothes to go stand outside for an hour, right? But I know that I can do it because I'm not gonna freeze to death because of the little tricks I have. Some people might not be able to, you know. Like there's some people I've seen in shorts and tank tops.
Yeah.
That are just walking out because that's their body. And to control that. So there's always like tricks.
Totally.
And everything.
Yeah. It's all about the mind over matter.
Yeah.
Totally.
And also like the gut feeling that you have. That's it.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up here, with everything that you know now and looking back from the past, what would you want to tell your younger self?
Oh, there's a lot I would tell her. I would tell her to be like, yo, stop being so innocent and dumb. But, you know, because I was that person and I believed everything and anything. Because, you know, your eyes light up when you're a little kid and looking at the world.
How about a lesson?
The lesson I learned that I would tell my younger self is that, hey, like, you're doing great. Just keep on pushing hard and don't let all the people that are around you take you down. Because that was my biggest problem. I think that's why I was not able to do certain things in my life is because of the people around me. You know, whether it be friends or boyfriends or whatever it is, family. But the lesson I would teach her is, hey, do you and don't worry about anyone else and just keep on doing it until you feel happy and don't chase clout. Because we all been there.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to think clout was everything, chasing clout, like the attention, but it's not worth it.
No.
No.
It's not.
Like now I don't even give a fuck. Like I'm just living, chilling, doing my thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate again you coming onto my podcast and
Thank you for
joining me
having me.
today.
Yeah.
And I will leave in the links below all of her songs and some of the projects that she's worked on, so you'll know where to go check her out. And stay tuned for Forbes India magazine. It's going to be coming out soon. You can follow her at Aman Bassi Official on Instagram, and you can keep updated on that and when this stuff is going to get released. Yeah. But that's all for me.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And remember, keep smiling. Cool. Thanks.
That was fun.
It was fun.
You went into it.